but I would want to see him at featherweight.
Mm-hmm.
There's some fights at featherweight that there's some names. There's not fights where I think they're gonna give them. They're gonna be very competitive because there might be only one that I could say is gonna be competitive against Divino.
Divino.
I think Divino is the only one that might even beat
He's so
Illinois.
tall.
Exactly, and he's strong, and since he became a champion, he's looking better and better since he became a champion. So I think Divino is the only one that could have a chance of beating him. I think
You don't think Angelo Leo?
no.
No?
Angelo Leo is a great fighter, a great win. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I think all the guys at featherweight are waiting for Inouye. Bernardo was doing the same thing, thinking Angelo Leo was going to be a comfortable win for him because they're all waiting for Inouye to move up in weight.
Mm-hmm.
Angelo Leo is going to try. Angelo Leo might not fight until Inouye moves up in weight if they choose him. But they want the big fight because
Yeah.
it's a big payday. I think the only one at featherweight that has a chance, and I would say it's a very close fight, is Divino.
Divino.
Yeah, against Inouye.
That would be a really great fight.
That would be a badass fight. I
Mhm.
would love to see that fight. I think Divino is the guy right now at featherweight. He's the guy that I don't think anybody beats him at featherweight right now. So that would be a huge fight. So all the featherweights right now, they're hoping that Inouye vacates and moves up because they all want to get that up.
James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so this is a bit of a special report. I wasn't planning on making any videos today. I wanted to work on some other things. I wanted to, divert my attention to other things, with True School Sports that have nothing to do with content creation. But I had to come here and make this video because there's just sometimes you watch people talk about boxing and they say certain things and you have to rebuttal these things. You have to actually give people the large picture, put them on game. So I was watching a channel that I frequent pretty often, KO Christina Ramirez, shout out to her. I went ahead and checked out her most recent podcast with her Theo, the war-renowned trainer Robert Garcia. I've got a lot of respect for Robert Garcia, but he said something that I thought was disrespectful, and honestly, I think it's nonsense, and I refuse to not let my thoughts on this be known. So, with that being said, he was talking about Naya Inoue and the TJ Doheny fight, and the victory over TJ Doheny and what could be next for Inoue, and obviously, what the majority of boxing fans want to see is Inoue fight at featherweight. Can he go up to featherweight and beat that crop of guys there? And so Robert Garcia echoes these sentiments. He says he wants to see Inoue as a featherweight. And then he goes and he talks about, the fact that there's only one fighter that has a chance to beat Naoya Inoue. And that fighter, he believes in his heart of hearts, is Rafael Espinoza. He then went on by saying, and I quote, "Nobody beats Espinoza at 126. He even then made the statement saying that Rafael Espinoza at this juncture, at this moment in time, is the guy at 126. Now, full disclosure, I love Rafael Espinoza. I was there when he beat Robert Garcia in South Florida. I was one of the only, if not the only, American English-speaking media outlet that interviewed him the week of the Robesi fight. All right. So I have an appreciation. I can appreciate Rafael Espinoza's career more than a lot of people. But I got to be honest. Rafael Espinoza, I don't know what it is, but because I remember when Rafael Espinoza, when Rafael Espinoza beat Robesi Ramirez, the sentiments I heard from the boxing world were, hey, Espinoza is exciting. He's a good fan-friendly TV fighter, but he's also equally a flawed fighter, and he may not be here for a good time or a long time, but he'll be here for a good time. His fights and his reign as champion will be long, will be fun, no matter how long it lasts. That was the sentiments I got. And then, the second week I was living here in Vegas when I covered the fight when he fought Sergio Chirino Sanchez, he knocks out, for lack of a better term, cannon fodder opposition in Sanchez, and all of a sudden I'm hearing people say Espinoza is this, Espinoza is that, he could beat Inoue, and I'm like, y'all are giving him more hype for knocking out Chirino Sanchez than you did when he beat Robesi, because I didn't hear nobody saying that he beat Robesi after the fight, right? So I scratch my head, and I don't want to use this word for Espinoza, but when I hear people hype him up to no end, I do think he's becoming a little overrated, and I hate using that word for him because I do like him a lot. He's probably one of my favorite fighters in boxing just because he's fun to watch. But he is becoming a little overrated. People are overrating his skill set, and they're looking at the fact that he's a tall featherweight and trying to use that as a means to say that he could beat all these guys because he's tall. When in all reality, Espinoza does not box like a tall fighter. He routinely gives up his size. So he's not like Tommy Hearns. He's not, this long, rangy outside boxer. Does he have a good jab? Yes. But does he routinely give up his size as well? Yes, he does. And that's why Robesi almost knocked him out. And people keep talking about, oh, he's going to beat Inoue. He can beat this guy. He can beat that guy. He's better than Angelo. He's better than Nick Ball. He's better than Ray Vargas. Listen, Espinoza got a fight coming up in December against Nick Ball or against Robesi, the rematch. They're doing the Robesi Ramirez rematch. There's no guarantee that Rafael Espinoza will even get through this calendar year with his belt. So I found that kind of just off by Robert Garcia. Then he says that all the guys at 126 are waiting for Inoue. Now, that's not true. First and foremost, Bob Arum himself, when I interviewed him, stated that he himself is not trying to make the unification fights.
The plan is to see at the end of the year who the champions are in featherweight, and then line them up to fight Inoue.
Okay.
Why would they fight each other in a match that wouldn't involve that much money when they can fight Inoue probably in Japan for 3 or 4 times the money?
Correct. Maybe the line I thought would have been so there could be just one established guy,
But that's only one fight. That's only one guy getting the reward for fighting Inoue.
Correct.
This way it'll be 2 or 3 guys
Getting the reward.
Yeah, who and we don't know how dominant Inoue is going to be stepping up another weight.
He's not trying to do the unification fights because he wants to give every featherweight in the division who's champion a chance to fight Inoue. Those are Bob Arum's words, not mine. No, so Bob Arum is making them wait around. That's number one. And number two, you can't say that for Angelo Leo because Angelo Leo just became champion on August 10th. It's September 6th as I'm shooting this video. He hasn't even been champion for a month yet. So to say that about him is unfair, and to say that he's waiting around for anybody is it's double unfair because Angelo has been the most active fighter at the world level in championship boxing. 4 fights since November 1st of last year. So what is that? 4 fights in 10 months? You guys tell me how many of your favorite fighters have fought 4 times in 10 months? It's not many. How many of your favorite fighters fought 2 times in 10 months? It's not many. Don't even get me started on 3. Dan did 3. He did 4 fights against live competition in 9-10 months time. So I felt like that was disrespectful to Angelo Leo. And then he said something that I halfway agree with because he said Angelo Leo may not fight again until, unless Inoue picks him, which, of course, if Inoue picks anybody in this weight class, they're going to jump at the opportunity to fight him because it's the most meaningful fight you can get in this weight class. It's the highest grossing fight you can get in this weight class. And, speaking as part of Team Leo, fuck the money. The money's great, but it's not about the money. It's about beating him. It's about beating him and sticking that flag in the ground in your legacy in boxing as a legend of the sport and giving people unforgettable moments and unforgettable nights. That's what it's about. So I just don't understand how Robert Garcia can downplay Angelo Leo. Rafael Espinoza is a really good fighter. I like him. But I'll be honest with you, and I really pray and I cross my fingers he keep that belt because I want to beat him too. He's on the list. Him, Inoue, and Stephen Fulton. Those are the 3 on the list because these are the 3 guys that I routinely hear can beat Angelo at featherweight. Now, with Fulton, I don't agree with it, but I understand it because Fulton has that win. He actually proved it in the ring that he could do it. Obviously, I think Angelo's matured and he's better now, but at featherweight, I don't think anybody beats Angelo Leo. To be honest with you, I think at his best, he's the most complete featherweight in the division. And we've been told, and when I say we, not me, but Angelo and Miguel, it was stated here on camera after the fight. Bob Arum told Angelo, he said, "Look, we're gonna try to get you back to Albuquerque in January or February."
Thank you for putting me on your platform. I appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoyed the night.
Yeah, it was a good fight. And we'll try to make your first defense back here.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So I would anticipate, if that is true, if Bob follows through on his word, I would expect Tomoki Kameda to fight Angelo at that time. He's a mandatory challenger. Angelo can't fight the other featherweight champions because all the featherweight champions, like Rafael Espinoza, Nick Ball, they're all tied up with fights. Espinoza's fighting Robesi, Nick Ball's fighting what's his name, Ronnie Rios, and Ray Vargas. Who knows what the hell he's doing? So Robert Garcia, man, I got respect for him, but we're not waiting around for Inoue at all. Angelo Leo is not waiting around for Inoue. We want the best fights that could possibly be made. So right now I'm thinking that's Tomoki Kameda, because even the contenders that people want to see Angelo fight, they got fights coming up. Like Bruce Carrington has a fight coming up. Odebek Komatov's coming off a knee injury. So like, it's one thing to talk shit about most fighters in boxing, but Angelo Leo was not most fighters in boxing. This is a guy, like I said, the criticism was, oh, he's not fighting. He hasn't been active for 2.5 years. He's not that, he's irrelevant to the division. Why are you talking about him, BT? Now he's fought 4 times in 9-10 months, so he's the most active fighter in championship boxing. No, I don't think there's. It really takes special character to do what he's done with his career, to pretty much come from having a dead career where there wasn't a whole lot going on and people were just forgetting about you and writing you off. You know what that does to a fighter? You know what that does to them psychologically? You got to be a real special person to do what he's done, which is pick yourself up from the depths of hell, from not fighting, from being inactive, from promotional issues, to being an afterthought, to fight, 3 fights. By the way, on Pro Box, I'll tell you guys this right now. I know Pro Box ain't paying like great money. They're not, you're not going to get rich just fighting on Pro Box. But he went to Pro Box because why? Angelo Leo has what most fighters act like they have, which is self-belief. He actually has the belief in himself. He knew that once he took out those fights, got active, started building some buzz around his name, and got the Venado fight, that he performed in the Venado fight. And that's why you can't group him with these Nick Balls and these Espinosas and definitely not no damn Ray Vargas. So Robert Garcia, you know what? Thank you, Robert Garcia. Thank you, Christina Ramirez. Thank you, the RGBA podcast. Thank you for giving myself, as part of the film study team, thank you for giving myself more motivation. Thank you for giving Angelo Leo more motivation. Thank you for giving all of us more motivation than we already had. Because whoever Angelo fights next, we'll make sure he's ready to give another great performance. And then when the time comes, just as long as Espinoza still has that belt, I want him. I want Folan. I want, Inoue. Those are the 3 fights I want the most. And God willing, all those guys. God willing, Espinoza keep his belt. God willing, Stephen Fulton win a belt. And God willing, Naoya Inoue, when he feels right, which I think will be sometime in 2025, moves at the featherweight so that we can get the chance to prove that. But I just wanted to say that I didn't like Robert Garcia saying that Angelo's waiting around for Inoue, because Angelo hasn't waited around for anything. He's been the most busy fighter in boxing. And I don't it's not surprising to me that Robert Garcia thinks that Rafael Espinoza would have the best chance to beat Inoue, because out of all the featherweights, he fights the most like most of the guys in his gym, which is come forward, throw punches, be a high volume Mexican fighter. That's traditionally speaking. I'm not saying every Robert Garcia fighter is like that, because he's got some guys with a lot of skills like Bam and Virgil, but traditionally speaking, that's what a Robert Garcia fighter is. Giovanni Santillon, these guys come forward, they throw a lot of punches. So that's a guy that primarily does that and will give up his size to do so, and takes a lot of big shots and has very leaky defense. It's not surprising to me that that's the guy he thinks will have the best chance. And truth be told, in my opinion, I think Rafael Espinoza is the second easiest opponent for Inoue in the featherweight division because of his lack of defense and because of the fact that he's so tall and cutting down to 126. There's gonna come a point where his body can't make the weight anymore. He's been at the weight his whole career for 10 plus years. So because of the weight, because of the style he fights, I think Inoue gives him the Jane McDonald treatment, honestly. And I'm not trying to down Espinoza, but I'm just telling you what I really genuinely think. He'd be the third easiest fight for Inoue of the champions. Ray Vargas would be maybe the easiest, or the third easiest. I don't know. Him and Espinoza are battling for who's the easiest out of the two. And then second would be Nick Ball. I think Nick Ball will be the second hardest opponent for Inoue at featherweight, just because of the size and the ruggedness that he brings to the table and the volume he has. And then first, you already know who number one is, Angelo Leo. I think Angelo is the most complete fighter. He can do a lot of things in there. Be the volume puncher, be the counter puncher. He's flashed on more than one occasion, one punch knockout power in this weight class. His boxing skills have improved dramatically. He can fight you in angles. I mean, I don't know why people aren't seeing it, but I'm going to keep bringing it up anytime I get a chance here on True School Sports, because it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I can't fathom how people are watching the same sport as I am, because these other guys are good fighters, but they got some big chinks in the armor. The only chink I'll say, and maybe if you really wanted to say for Angelo, is maybe sometimes he stays in that pocket a little too long and he can get hit. But that's about it. I mean, and even then, like, his defense is tighter than an Espinoza. His defense is more fundamentally sound than a Nick Ball, and he's throwing more volume than a guy like Ray Vargas. So I can tell you guys till the cows come home. I'm going to keep telling you guys till the cows come home. And all we can do is get Angelo ready for his next fights, to fight to the best of his abilities and prove it in the ring, you know? But I wanted to get my thoughts known because Robert Garcia is tripping. Ain't nobody waiting for Inoue. So, yeah. I'll leave it at that. You guys leave your comments down below. And y'all know the rest. Take care. And, yeah, whatever. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.